Here we have the beautiful Monotropa hypopedes, or pine sap. It's a parasitic plant on fungi, aka a microheterotroph. And these are typically red in color when they're going off. Getting next to the pond, and hopefully there's a nice view spot on the other side of this little peninsula here. This is the first peninsula area I'm looking at. Looks pretty nice. I wouldn't walk on the ice though. No way, Jose. Probably only between 2 and 3 inches thick. Nice pitch pine understory. And by that I mean just the needles. There we are. Pretty good. Right here we have a rare one, Picea rubrans. The red spruce growing along the shores of this pond. Rare to see. Typically you only see the Norway spruce, but I know this is red spruce just by the way it is. It's just different. I just know it's different. Beautiful. Good to see. This one's either a planted specimen or blew in from a seed from a local Christmas tree farm. By the way, it's native to the area and it's awesome to see. I love red spruce. They can live over 200 years old and get giant. They're tolerant of deep shade, so eventually these pitch pines will die and that red spruce will take over. Here we have Chimaphila maculata, a little ericaceous shrub. White flowers in June. It's really common. You find it pretty much in every forest you go to. Walking through a dense mixed conifer or mixed pine forest with red pine, white pine, and pitch pine, and the occasional understory blueberry bush. Really dense. Not too much going on in the understory, super shady, which is to be expected for these kind of habitats. Here we have a declining American chestnut stump sprout. You can see how gnarly it is. And all these cankers are formed from the chestnut blight. But, you know, it's continually sending up suckers. I'm surprised the size of this thing. Usually they die far before they get to this size. Probably just because along the side of the pond get some extra light. But this is how you typically see American chestnuts now. Pathetic little multi-stemmed shrubs that are just suffering perpetually. They used to be one of the grandest trees in the area. Here we have Leucobirum. It's a common pincushion type moss. Here we have some beautiful Climacium, or tree moss. Maybe American tree moss, Climacium americanum. It's common. Entering a nice old pine forest. That was a young pine forest back there. Man, this pine forest is beautiful. Average age here is probably around 100 years. Wouldn't be surprised if it was all logged when the pond was created back in the 1920s. It'd be cool if they left it and was able to grow into an old growth pine forest. Nice vernal pool. Epic. This is a nice pond. You can see the storm clouds moving in for a little showery system passing through tomorrow. And that pretty much ends winter. After that, it's supposed to be 50-degree weather. The snow will all melt. Now I'm in what I like to call a pine mazeland. It's basically a pine oak forest with an understory of pine saplings with occasional openings with either witch hazel like we have here or black huckleberry. And kind of straightforward to go through. You go one direction and you just kind of push through the pines. So it's not super diverse either, but it's just a step in the, I won't say the right direction or the wrong direction, just a direction for the forest to go. Eventually these will senesce out, and we'll be left with a more open understory, more conducive to herbaceous plants. Right now those can't really compete with all these small pines. I'd say like 70% or 90% of them won't make it. And they'll just fill in gaps where the big trees fall. Some nice dicranum here. This patch of pine mazeland is dominated by birch. These small Detrulalentas. And then they'll fade right back to the pine thicket. So this tree is called Larix decidua with a European larch. Here's the cones on that. It's a deciduous conifer. Loses its needles in the winter. And these are typically planted. And I don't think they're invasive, but they can volunteer occasionally. Planted for wood or pulp or whatever they use it for. A beautiful Dendrolycopodium hickey. It's hickey because you can twirl it in your fingers. It's not completely flat. That's awesome.